Imagine the UFC's top boss, Dana White, flat out calling one of the sport's biggest stars a bad guy, and backing it up with stories of heated confrontations that could turn any office into a ring. This isn't just gossip, it's a deep dive into the rocky history between White and former heavyweight champ Francis Ngannou, revealing tensions that simmered during Ngannou's time with the Ultimate Fighting Championship. But here's where it gets controversial. Is White spilling the truth, or is it sour grapes from a failed relationship? Stick around as we unpack the drama with all the details you need to form your own opinion. Over the course of his UFC career, Francis Ngannou, that powerful Cameroonian French fighter, known for his knockout punches, had more than a few clashes with CEO Dana White. For beginners new to mixed martial arts, the UFC is the world's premier organization for cage fighting, where athletes compete in regulated bouts. White has long suggested that there's a darker side to Ngannou, beyond his impressive skills in the octagon. Take his 2018 bout against Derek Lewis, another heavyweight slugger. Ngannou's performance was lackluster, and White publicly pointed out that the fighter's massive ego was holding him back during his rise to fame. This wasn't just a one-off comment. It hinted at deeper personality issues that made their working relationship chilly, even after Ngannou departed the UFC as a free agent in 2023. And this is the part most people miss. White didn't stop there. He repeatedly implied that Ngannou might not be the most trustworthy or respectable figure in the business. At first, it might seem like White was just venting frustration from unsuccessful contract talks with a high-profile talent. But during a candid chat on the Flagrant podcast, White went all in, painting a vivid picture that shocked listeners. Francis Ngannou is a bad guy, he declared bluntly. He's not a good person. He pretends there's a language barrier, acting all innocent and polite, but people buy into it, thinking it's just him struggling with English. Let me tell you, there's no such barrier. This guy's sharp and manipulative. White emphasized that Ngannou's charm is a facade, and he urged his team to heed the old saying, when someone shows their true colors, believe them. It's a harsh assessment, and one that could spark fierce debate. Is White exaggerating for effect, or does Ngannou's reputation as the predator extend beyond the cage? White's warnings trace back to red flags that appeared early on. After Ngannou dominated his first 6 UFC opponents with finishes, that's knocking them out or forcing submissions to win, he earned a shot at the heavyweight title against reigning champ Stipe Miocic at UFC 220 in Boston. Ahead of the big event, White recalls a tense moment that foreshadowed trouble. Ngannou, convinced he was about to kill Miocic, a common fighter's boast for a decisive victory, cornered White in a hallway post-press conference. "Let me tell you what's going to happen," Ngannou said, his English impeccable. "After this fight, you're booking me a private plane to Paris." White laughed it off, but Ngannou insisted he was serious. They parted ways, but as we all know, Miocic turned the tables, delivering a brutal beating that ended Ngannou's title dreams. White admits he should have cut ties right then, highlighting how Ngannou's arrogance clashed with reality. This incident underscores the high-stakes world of professional fighting, where confidence can border on entitlement. A lesson beginners might appreciate when watching these athletes negotiate their futures. The drama escalated with a physical showdown that brought things to a whole new level. Ngannou, upset about missing out on a post-fight bonus, extra cash awarded for standout performances, like Fight of the Night, stormed into White's office. For context, UFC fighters enjoyed perks like free access to the Performance Institute, a state-of-the-art training facility with top-tier meals and resources. But Ngannou was reportedly taking full advantage, almost living there. He barged in, complaining about not getting that $50,000 bonus from a recent match. White explained the criteria. Other fighters earned it for reasons like dramatic fights or comebacks. But Ngannou wouldn't back down, arguing heatedly. As the conversation wrapped up and White tried to exit, Ngannou grabbed his shirt and shoved him back into the room. "Get your hands off me," White snapped, seeing a side of Ngannou that confirmed his suspicions. And here's where it gets really intriguing. White claims Ngannou also manhandled another executive, Hunter Campbell, during a similar dispute over the bonus. As Campbell walked away, Ngannou yanked him back by the collar, insisting the talk wasn't over. White calls it evidence that Ngannou isn't the nice guy he pretends to be. Despite this turbulent past, Ngannou has thrived outside the UFC, proving his talent transcends one organization. In October 2023, he stepped into professional boxing against Tyson Fury, the heavyweight titan, and came agonizingly close to victory in a split decision loss. Then, in his PFL debut last October, the Professional Fighters League is another major combat sports league, he demolished Renan Ferreira with a quick first-round stoppage. He's been on a brief hiatus since, but PFL CEO John Martin has teased upcoming plans for the star. White, however, bets that PFL is regretting their deal with Ngannou, especially after he pushed for a clash with legend John Jones. "I'm sure they wish they never signed him," White quipped, drawing from his own experiences. "I don't need to hear it from them. I know the real guy." This saga raises big questions about character in high-stakes sports. Is Dana White's portrayal of Francis Ngannou fair, or is it colored by personal grudges? Could Ngannou's assertiveness be seen as passionate rather than aggressive, especially in a tough industry? What do you think? Was Ngannou wronged in the UFC, or does White have a point about his behavior? Share your take in the comments below. Let's debate and see where the truth lies.